Alright, hello everyone. As a lot of you may know, I am quite the Danganronpa enthusiast. I know all the lore, I got my my platinum trophies in all the games and such. So I figured I would do a tier list video of my favorite characters. And yeah, we got a lot to get through here. I put the UDG, what do you call them? Demons in unimportant, because they're not really characters that you learn to care about at all. And the Hifumi anime characters in here too. So yeah, beginning off, Akane. I quite like Akane. She is quite cool. I like her overall demeanor. She's a very fun character to have around in Danganronpa 2. I think I'll put her in should be like an A tier around here. I'll put her in A tier. I like Akane quite a bit. Now we got Angie. I was never huge on Angie. I don't hate her or anything, but I don't specifically like anything about her. So throw her in decent tier, I suppose. Similar situation with Hina, I suppose, where there's nothing I particularly love about her, but I don't hate her either. She's just kind of a character that's just there, so throw her in decent as well. Byakuya is the troublemaker of the first game, and I always quite like the troublemaker characters, as you'll come to learn, but Byakuya is probably my least favorite of them. Overall, he does get a little bit annoying sometimes. I think I'll throw him in really good, but he's still a really good character. I just don't like him as much as some others. Celeste is very polarizing for me. I don't necessarily I like her design a lot, but she doesn't really have anything that necessarily draws me to her character, nor does she nor does she have anything that particularly makes me hate her. She's just another character that if I didn't like her design a bit, she would just be kind of there. So I'll put her in I guess I just gotta throw her in decent, because there's nothing I particularly like about her, despite being gothic Lolita, which is a good aesthetic and the like. Next we have Chiaki. I think Chiaki is a very likable character. A lot of people like her quite a lot. I wouldn't say that she's... Yeah, no, she's definitely in the love them tier. I like Chiaki a lot, especially in the anime. Obviously in Danganronpa 2, she's one of the best characters as well. But yeah, absolutely deserves a spot up here. And love them. Chihiro is fine. Again, a character I don't have anything particularly for or against one way or another, so I'm gonna say decent. Fuyuhiko. Again, it's just he's a very decent character. I'm putting so many of them in a row in decent here, but it's just because the way that this is ordered, it's making me put so many of them in decent tier. But yeah, Fuyuhiko, very decent character. He's good to have around in 2, and it's nice to see his character growth and stuff, and all that. But yeah, maybe you should have become the robot, and then he would have been more interesting. I don't know. Tell me. Gonta. I do quite enjoy Gonta. Gonta's kind of had a bit of a leap in quality to me over the years, where I used to be whatever with him, but now I do quite like Gonta. He's a very fun character. He's very sweet. I think Gonta goes up to really good. A lot of his humor and jokes and stuff in V3 are quite funny. Gundam's always a treat to have around and hear and hear what he has to say, and his voice lines are all so funny. Really awesome character. Gundam goes into the love them tier for sure. Hajime, I think, is a good protagonist, but I don't think he specifically earns a spot anywhere special on the list. Maybe he does for his pre-game self, before he becomes Kamakura. And I always used to ship him with a lot of characters and stuff. I'm actually gonna throw Hajime in really good, I think. Hifumi. Now, if you were to ask me like a bunch of years ago, I'd have put Hifumi in like, oh, awful tier, I hate Hifumi or whatever, but like, I've come to learn that there are a lot of characters who are good because they're fun to hate on and they're fun to like make fun of and bully. That's kind of Hifumi right here. So I don't want to say that he's like, I like him specifically, because I don't in like in a literal sense. I like to make fun of him. So I think I'm gonna average it out to just being indecent. I think he's a very decent character. He's very fun to make fun of. He's sort of like a Harold from Total Drama situation, where he's like my favorite character. He's like the best character to make fun of. Himiko. Himiko's always really, really nice. I like Himiko. She's a nice character. I like her character growth in V3. She's one of these two. I'll put her in love them. I like Himiko quite a lot, actually, especially because of how long you get to know her in V3 and the like. Hyoko is another really funny character that kind of propels her up, but I also just like her in general outside of that. Yeah, just overall very funny character. Hyoko goes, especially obviously with Mikan and stuff. She's which you'll find out where I put Mikan later, but Hyoko's at least really good, right? Yeah, I think Hyoko goes in really good. Very funny character. Ibuki, obviously, favorite. That's not even a question. Ibuki is like the light one of the lights of the second game, at least the female light of the second game. With all her energy and her, and I like her character design, and she's just a very bright and optimistic person, and she's quite funny with her, especially in chapter 3 in Danganronpa 2, and yeah, I just love Ibuki overall. Alright, Junko. Junko's a very good character. She's a good villain for the series. I quite like her design and everything. I would say, like, the only thing that really drags her down a little bit is, like, her character is kind of an annoyance. Like, even though she's not really there overly much, her character overall is kind of an annoyance in UDG. I mean, obviously she puppets the two Kumas in that game, so that's kind of where her presence is, but her impact on the story is a little annoying. But other than that, in every other game, Junko's always a real treat to have around. I love her expressiveness, and she's a really good villain. I'm gonna put her in the love them tier for sure. Kaede, same thing. She's a very fun character. She's a very good protagonist. I also quite like how I quite like her jokes about her perverted side and stuff. Very funny, very fun character. And it's good that I like that you get to play as her and you get to see like through her eyes her committing or thinking that she committed the chapter 1 murder in V3 on a second playthrough, like seeing her reaction to stuff. I love all that. Kaito. I'm not a big Kaito fan. I gotta be honest. I think he's kind of a jerk. Like, even in the English translation, I kind of don't love him. Like, even if he is like, oh, like, Shuichi is my little bro or whatever, I never liked Kaito. I'm not big on him. Another character that I'm gonna be very controversial is Kazuichi. Honestly, one of my least favorite characters in the series. I hate him. I think he's extremely annoying. I don't think he's funny or likable at all in Danganronpa 2. I just think he's extremely annoying. So he's going in Please Die. I hate him. Kibo, I have nothing for or against Kibo. He's a fine character. I guess he's like lifted up when he's with Kokichi a little bit, or Miu, but on his own, he's just decent. Harumi's a very interesting character, and I kind of wish that you got more of Kurumi throughout the story in V3. Like, I kind of wish that she had, like, in one way or another, however the story would make it work, I kind of wish that she either, like, accidentally didn't kill in Chapter 2, or she survived somehow and they had to live amongst her. I've seen some people bring that up before on YouTube and the like, what if Kurumi lived and stuff, and it's a very cool idea. I would love to see like fan fiction written about that, or I mean there probably already is, but I'd like to like explore such an idea. So love Kurumi, like her design as well quite a lot. I don't love her specifically, and a lot of the reason I like her is because of the potential she has rather than what she is in game, but she's going in really good regardless. Kiyotaka, there's nothing specifically. Again, he's a decent character. There's nothing I love about him. There's nothing I really hate about him. He's just fine, I guess. Kokichi. Obvious S tier. Kokichi is the absolute highlight of V3. V3 is my favorite game in the series, and although he may not be my absolute favorite character, he's definitely the reason why V3 is my favorite game. So, easy S tier. Love Kokichi. His character is just so fucking fun. You can't have V3 without him. I can't explain why I love it's just I love the troublemaker characters so much, and Kokichi does that so fucking well. Also, he has purple hair, and that's always nice. Anthropology weirdo. You can be like, I don't know, I don't hate you, or I don't hate him or anything, he's just fine. Kyoko. If you had asked me many years ago, Kyoko would be right up here in S tier, but because I'm now 7 years older, I think that she goes around really good. There's nothing stand out about her. I mean, she's cool and all. Like, she's like stereotypical, like very like cool girl. I love her design and all. She's not a bad character in the first game. I like her a lot. And, you know, in all the other media she appears in for the franchise, but she's nothing special to me like she once was, I would say. Kyoko's dad, he's like, I should have honestly put him in probably not important, but he's like fine. He's in enough media to be just put in decent. I don't really care about him too much. I guess same goes for Leon. He's not in enough stuff. I really ship him with Sayaka. As like controversial as that always is, he's gonna be like decent, because besides that one ship, I just don't care about him at all. Mahiru is kind of in a similar boat, where besides her one joke of being like uber feminist, funny, I don't give too much of a shit either, so she's going in decent as well. Maki's always a good character. I think she definitely goes above decent. She goes into really good. I quite like her covering up her talent for a while in V3. She adds a lot of curiosity to that game on a first playthrough. I like her relationship with Kaito, even though I don't like Kaito. Yeah, overall, I think she's just a solid character all around. Makoto, the face of the series, he's like a milquetoast protagonist. He gets kind of annoying sometimes, especially in the anime, but in general, he's just decent, I would say. Mikan. I am not a Mikan enjoyer. Mikan is annoying to me. I don't like people who... This is gonna be weird to say, because I know people who have like super kinned Mikan, and like they love Mikan so much, and she's literally them and stuff, but when people really act like a Mikan, I don't like that behavior. It's very annoying behavior, where they're like attention whoring in like an undercover sort of way. And then like the real Mikan, where she's like in despair, is even more annoying, and I don't like that character even more. Sure, you could say like, oh yeah, like all the students are the same way, they're all under despair, but no, Mikan's different. Mikan's like special. She's like a little bit too weird and obsessed with Junko. I just don't care for her at all. She's got no integrity to her. I don't like her. And I would only be bumping her up to decent if I was like, oh, well, her character is all because of trauma. But then I kind of have to include that in her character. It's a core part of who she is. So she's going in bleh. Miu, one of the most fun characters in V3. Easily one of the best characters in that game for jokes, for humor. Very just expressive. I think a lot of people like Miu, except for like Japanese people when V3 first came out didn't like Miu. I don't know if she's a fave as much as Kokichi is, but she's definitely in love them. Mondo, I was never a big fan of Mondo. He's just kind of like decent, but to a point where he kind of annoys me. I'm sorry, but he's going in filth. I don't quite care for Mondo. I'm sorry. Alright, next we have the crybaby who's obsessed with Chisa and is just generally extremely annoying and says the same shit over and over and over again to Makoto, especially in the dub of Danganronpa 3, where he calls all of his stuff, what are they, platitudes. He's the platitude guy. Very annoying character. Don't like him at all. I don't despise him like some other characters, but he's definitely a filth tier character. Do not like him. Mukuro is a very cool character, and there's so much potential with her too, because she's not so like elusive through the franchise. Like, I mean, I know that there's material where she shines in the actual franchise, but I feel like a lot of my like for her comes from Fangan stuff, so it could be a little bit questioned where I put her here. Even if not, she would just be a very mysterious kind of force working, being Junko's sister and all in the series. So she's, ooh, where do I want to put her, here or here? It's really hard. I think because I'm gonna go more off of canon for most of these, I'm gonna just put her in really good. But Mukuro, a very good character. Nagito, if you know me at all, favorite character in the whole series. Wonderful man. Just the way that he's like very low key about it, but he's like the smartest character in the entire game in Danganronpa 2 at like solving shit. And just his brand of insane and self-hatred. I love him. I love Nagito so much, and he's been my favorite character for well over a decade now. And it is truly sad that he's so many people's least favorite character. And that's all I gotta say. Nekomaru, the shit guy. He's funny sometimes. He's very like, he's kind of boring the majority of the time, but he has his quips where he's really funny, but they're very few and far between. I think he's just gonna go in decent, but he'll be like at the top of decent. Peko is a average character, nothing too unique about her. I don't think. She's also going in decent along with Nekomaru, but she could go toward the top because I like her character design, similar to Celeste. It could go to the top of decent. Rantaro, very mysterious, very interesting character for sure. I always found it really interesting how in like the after game of V3, he's the ultimate adventurer instead of the ultimate survivor, because, you know, that must have been like his original talent, which is very cool in my opinion. I quite like him because there's a lot you can do with him. He's another character that shines a ton in Fangans as the secret character kind of V3. And he's got a great design. I love his personality too. He's a very chill guy. I'm gonna put him up here and love them. I really like Rantaro. Ryoma. Nothing special about Ryoma that I particularly care about. I know that sucks to say given his tragic character. But, yeah, he's never one of the characters that I think of when I think of Danganronpa, you know? Like I said, I know that sucks to say given his character arc. But, I'm gonna have to just throw him in decent. Sakura, another tragic character that I'm gonna have to put in decent because I don't have any specific real connection to them, which sucks, but I guess it is what it is. Okay, so Sayaka's a very interesting case, where in canon, I don't necessarily love her. Like, at one point I probably would have put her in filth, but she'd probably be decent. But in general, the amount of time with, like, fandom works and just headcanons I've had with her, especially, like, the shipping her with Leon and stuff, I'm gonna say she's, like... I can't put... Like, if she was just based off of fan works and how she's typically portrayed in them, she would be, like, here. But because I can't do that, I'm gonna average it out a little bit and I'll throw her in really good. I know I should probably just be saying decent because, you know, canon, but I can't bring myself to do that. I gotta put Sayaka in really good. Mahiru's friend from the anime. I don't really care enough about her. Shuichi, great protagonist. Definitely best protagonist that you play as in the series. Like, definitely best protagonist in the series. Most relatable protagonist too, for sure. He's another kind of like Nagito, where even though he's the ultimate detective, you would think so. He's kind of a hidden genius, but a little bit less so. You know, they kind of expect him to be. But again, very relatable character too. He's definitely in love them for sure. I might have considered bumping Shuichi to faves at one point, at a point in time, but for now, I think he's gonna sit comfortably in love them tier. And you know, all the V3 characters in this tier can go like all the way to the top because they're the best. Sonya, another character that would have been in faves, like easy, if you asked me in like 2020, 2021. But current day, where there's no like, I haven't been involved in like fan discourse and kinning in a while, she's getting knocked down to love them just for her character in game. She's still an amazing character and she's really fucking funny, but she's not like one of the characters I feel so connected to and stuff that would be in faves anymore. Tanko, same story as Sonya. Like, literally same story as Sonya. Funny, would have felt more connected to her back in the day. Still a very, very high tier character. Gotta put her in love them. And you know, now that I'm looking at this love them tier, I might have to bump down Akane. Yeah, that looks better. Teru, aside from the Avril Lavigne thing, he's just kind of annoying. He's kind of a pain in the ass. He's not like, I guess he's not as bad as Kazuichi, but he's still a pain. I don't like him. Toko, if we're being realistic, probably either most relatable or second most relatable character besides like Shuichi. So yeah, no, I'm gonna definitely say she's, I mean, I like Toko for other reasons too, though, that are just straight game related. Toko could probably sit in the front of like A tier here, though. Like I said, any of these guys in Love Them could easily be like, I could play one of the games again tomorrow, or like watch a playthrough or even somebody's fan work, and they could immediately be pushed up to favorites. But these three are like the core favorites, so that's why they sit here in faves. Sugarcane is like fine for what she is. Do I want to include her as her Junko self here? She would be like probably a little bit higher, but just based on her as a character, which even she herself would say is, you know, she's a work of fiction. Her as a work of fiction is probably just decent. Ultimate Imposter, fucking badass. That's all I could say about this guy. Really good. Yasuhiro, he's like fine. There's nothing special that I love or hate about him. He's kind of funny sometimes, but nothing stand out to me. So, decent. Chisa. Chisa's fun. She's a very nice character. Even as evil Chisa, dead Chisa, watching and telling the story of Danganronpa 3 in a despair arc. She's gonna be really good, I would say. She deserves her spot there. These people, I'm tempted to just actually throw in unimportant, because they're really just not important to even the media that they show up in. I'm sorry. I should probably throw you down here as well for that same reason. Izuru Kamakura, he makes me cringe from being squeamish, thinking about Hajime having fucking brain surgery, and there's nothing I like care for about him at all. So for those reasons, he's gonna go here. Genocide Jill could go in the same place as Toko. Her and Toko are two sides of the same coin, even if they are different entities. They are still, I still like them the same amount, I would say. Pedophile guy, even if he wasn't a pedophile, I still don't like him. He's like a jackass. He's a enormous crybaby the entire game. He's the worst part of UDG, even before the big reveal, if you will. And just, I hate him. Terrible character. Yasuhiro's mom, she's fine. There's nothing special about her. Put her next to her son. This girl from Leon's cousin that's like incestuously in love with him from the one story. She's fine. The only reason she's not in like the only reason I didn't put her unimportant is because she shows up in something and she's not like, and her character design is quite nice. I quite like her character design, but I don't love her for any reason, so she'll go in decent, I guess. Random person from Danganronpa 0. I barely remember Danganronpa 0. It was such a long time ago that I invested in that at all. And I'm not like an enormous fan of the novel at all. It's like fine. So I'm tempted to just put every single one of the characters from it in decent. The worst warrior of hope, the one that's like secretly the prettiest looking boy in the world or whatever. Just a nuisance. Don't like him at all. He's annoying. Uzo or whatever, he's same as his brother over here. They're both annoying assholes in the anime. I don't like either of them. More anime characters. Grandpa over here, the mastermind guy, he's fine. I don't have anything for or against him, I guess. He's like a terrible villain, but he's like fine. So we could go here. This dude, the one that's like, I have to protect Kirigiri at all costs or whatever, he's nothing special about him either. They're very bland, the anime characters overall, except for like Chisa. Komaru. Komaru's a great protagonist. I really like her. She's not on Toko's level, but she earns a spot in really good for sure. More Warriors of Hope. I don't like any of them really. The only one that's like fine is Nagisa. I'll put him in like decent. The Monocubs. Now, I'll get to you later. The Monocubs. Now, people are you're gonna fucking hate me for this, but, Monocubs are just kind of a pain. They're not, like, please die territory, but they're definitely in filth. Like, each and every one of them. I do not care for any of them. These two can actually, like, go down here for, like, that pregnancy scene that's fucking disgusting. Hate that. Hate that shit. Monami. Not a fan of Monami. Whatever. Monokuma. Monokuma is the only Kuma that's, like, fine in the series, because it's just the default Monokuma. He can go into, like, decent. It's just Junko at the end of the day, really. These two are also just Junko at the end of the day, really. You know what? They're basically just Monokuma, so they'll make it chill and decent. Whatever. Natsumi. Fuyuhiko's sister. She's a-okay, but there's nothing I love or hate about her, so she could chill next to her brother in decent tier. Ew! Yeah! Ryota, another character with a ton of potential that I really, really like and would really love to see more of in fan works or really anything. I love Ryota. He has such potential. He's great in the anime. He's one of the best parts of the anime. He's definitely up here. You are, like, fine. You're nothing special or anything I hate about you. Rurika's boyfriend or whatever, he's a fucking dipshit. He could sit down here with them, I don't care. Chihiro's dad is fine. Nothing special, nothing bad about him as usual. This is just Kiyotaka again, but, like, merged with Mondo's soul or whatever the fuck happens, so he could go here with him. And then Hina's brother that dies at the beginning of UDG. Tempted to throw him in unimportant, but, like, I guess he shows up enough to be put in decent. So that's my tier list. Tiers are not organized at all. I would do that, but I don't feel like it. I will say that my least favorite character in the series is Rurika, easily. Then in the games, it's Kazuichi. Best overall, my favorite. This is in order up over here for faves, and the rest of them are like somewhat in order, probably really not, but yeah, it's my Danganronpa character tier list, so thank you for watching.